And now back to Focus on Diversity with Troy Shaw.
And welcome back to the program. Let's continue our discussion. Growing numbers. According to a private study, getting tough policies that lock up offenders for long sentences are propelling a projected increase of nearly 200,000 in the nation's prison population in the next 5 years. I mean, this is, I think, a trend that we've been seeing all over the country where more and more people are finding themselves in jail. What do you think about that, Chris?
It's true. We got the Get Tough policy that came into effect several years ago. And then we also debated it a couple of weeks ago as well in regards to how that population in prison is starting to live longer in prison. They're starting to be healthier in prison. They're starting to get along better. There's not as many killings and shankings going on apparently in prison that there is out on the streets. So you're starting to see the population is growing in there because they're very happy. They're content. Is a word I guess.
Content. I don't know if they content there, Chris.
Content.
But I can't tell you that.
While they're there, and so they're very happy. They're getting the free health. They're getting foods, and yes, they are.
Well,
doing
my
better
problem is that a lot of them are looking a lot more like me, and I mean, the most of them are looking like me and Robert. Is what I'm saying, and I got a problem with that. What do you, as the lawyer of a former defense lawyer? What do you were a defense lawyer or no?
Well, I've done criminal defense and I do criminal appeals, but it's not my primary practice right now.
Not right now, but what do you think about that? Did you have to get some of those guys out?
Well, I think that it's an issue that is not going to go away because we're always going to have crime. And so the question that I think that we have to ask ourselves is, do we want to build more prisons and put away the most hardened criminals and maybe take a look at alternatives for the nonviolent offenders?
Exactly.
Those types of things. I think that it's the other issue that has to be addressed is we need to do a better job of dealing with recidivism. One of the things that I see all the time in criminal appeals that I handle is that people that are out less than a couple of months for a major sentence are right back in the same circumstances, committing the same kind of crimes and being pulled back into the system.
Yeah, and I mean, Robert, what we're seeing here is people more or less who look like you and me going into this, what Michael just said in regards to recidivism and what have you. And we're looking at this in our face right now. More and more people of color find themselves in jail. What do you think?
Well, this is a trend that's been going on for several decades now. And what we're going to be seeing also is a large number of that population coming back into the community.
Oh, yeah.
And so we need to start preparing for that population to reduce the recidivism rate. And the way we start doing that is by doing what Mayor Barrett and the governor have been proposing in regards to job training issues. Mm-hmm. What we need to do is support organizations like the Benedict Center that have been out there pushing for alternatives to incarceration for nonviolent offenders. Mm-hmm. These are the methods and vehicles that we must employ in order to deal with this issue, because simply building more prisons to house nonviolent offenders is the most economic nonsense out there.
This leads us right directly into our next topic here. The Innocence Project. Dallas County District Attorney Craig Watkins, I believe, has taken the unusual step of turning over all his files for every felony conviction that he has ever had, dating back since 1970, because he is concerned about the innocent men and women that he may have placed in jail, gentlemen. Now, I wonder how many people that this man actually did put in jail, and why is he doing it now? What do you think, Mike?
I think that the pace of technology, especially DNA technology, has changed so dramatically that a conviction 20 years ago where DNA evidence wasn't conclusive or wasn't available, that may have been a conviction based upon circumstantial evidence, testimony of witnesses. Now that we have the DNA technology to go back and look at that case harder, that's where you're going to see some of these convictions being overturned or some of these people being released. This is not a perfect system.
Well, what about just shoddy investigative work, shoddy attorney or district attorney oriented work, Chris? We're talking about a guy who may have put a guy in prison for what, like 20 years?
Correct. And you look at the 1970s, and I went to school in Atlanta, so I know about the good old boy network down there. There was, I'm not going to say there was never, but you can't tell me that if there was an African-American youth who was on trial, that he was there with a jury of his peers. Mm-hmm. Just did not happen. And now that with the DNA and the way that things are coming about in technology, you can actually go back, and there has just been multiple cases that have been come up, not only by the Innocence Project, but by other individuals. Heck, even the governor of Illinois released, 50 different people on death row
exactly.
In the state of Illinois, because of some of the feelings that they had in regards.
Well,
to
that within itself, I think, for the most part, Robert, is something that I think is it tells you that our justice system isn't necessarily broken, but it sure as heck ain't necessarily healthy.
It is suspect. I just wish Michael McCann would have done the same thing here when he retired.
No kidding, no kidding at all. I mean, I'll give you the last word on this, Mike. I mean, for the most part, we're taking a look at a situation where people are finding themselves getting out of jail or possibly getting out of jail based on this guy's error. This could be happening nationwide. I'm sure it is happening nationwide.
Well, I mean, we don't have a justice system that's devoid of human beings. So we're never going to have a justice system that is devoid of error. You're going to have bad prosecutors, you're going to have bad cops, you're going to have bad witnesses out there, you're going to have bad guys out there. I mean, it's just the nature of the system that we have. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than the systems, I think, that are in other countries where, you know, one accusation and off comes your hand.
Yeah, I see it completely. And when we come back, we'll have our closing comments. Stay with Focus on Diversity. We'll be right back. Travel accommodations provided by Midwest Airlines, the official airline for Focus on Diversity.